What's going on, and welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I am Nick, that is Connor, that is Brady, and we are here to break down what we just saw from Team Green for their 2025 showcase. Connor, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Yeah, happy to be here with you guys. Happy to yap it up about some video games. Brady, how about you?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm happy to be here. LA's been fun. That was interesting what we just watched. I'm excited to get into it.
Is the YouTube video not muted?
Is it still coming through? Is it still coming through the stream?
It is. Okay.
Oh, okay, we got to restart. No problem.
Do you
Ready?
have it open? Is it?
It is muted. So it's just open on another screen.
Okay.
Ready?
User error. Nice.
What's going on, and welcome into the Casual Gaming News Conversation. I'm Nick, that's Connor, that's Brady, and we are here to break down the Xbox Showcase 2025. We just witnessed an hour and some change from Team Green, showing about 20 plus games. The scoring of this is going to be very, very interesting. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about it. But first and foremost, Connor, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Excited to talk about some games and break down the showcase. Brady, how are we feeling?
I'm on the same page. I'm feeling good. I think we're all a little sleepy, but we're going to keep the train rolling. You said 20 plus games. I forget half of them. That was an interesting showcase, and I'm excited to talk about it.
I think that the hard part is what Connor was saying in between the showcase and shooting this pod, which is just there wasn't a big thing. Just period. Like a lot of these games look good to great, but there wasn't something that really got us out of our seat in a major way. I think really outside of Persona 4.
Yeah, and Persona 4's reveal was muted by the fact that it looked really early in development.
Yeah, and I think that it looks. I'm excited for Persona 4 remake and the budding relationship that's happening with Atlas and Xbox. But man, the hard part though is we're gonna go through this list, and there are things that I really do think we forgot about at the start of the show that were actually really great announcements. It's just a really tough pill to swallow that we get a cinematic Black Ops 7 trailer to close it out, and I fucking love Black Ops.
Do we have a date for that?
No, they said.
Are they skipping this year?
Potentially?
I don't.
Very
Do
interesting.
they? I don't think so.
I don't think they would either.
Yeah.
I think
They
that,
haven't skipped a year yet. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't
so-
think that they're skipping a year.
Can somebody look up if there's a date for COD potentially?
That's
No,
so
it's at 2025. Interesting. Okay, thank you.
Then it's coming out
Yeah.
in October, November.
Yeah,
or something.
October, November. Which shocking we didn't get a date, but also shocking we didn't get gameplay. Shocking that we're not getting. More than anything, it's just shocking that was the one more thing. And I understand that the general audience, it really doesn't get bigger than Call of Duty, and we can say it, but it's not what this showcase is about.
The Call of Duty audience is not watching this.
Yeah.
showcase.
No. Is there a chance it's just a campaign? At this point,
No.
They showed zombies.
they did show
did
zombies,
show
but
zombies.
it's dude. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, I
that's
just
insane.
and then. I'm curious just to see what the reception is to something like this that's on the screen right now, where we have Hollow Knight show up with a fuck ton of gameplay and it's not getting a release date once again.
That's
Like,
that's tough.
I forgot about Blade too. I can't believe Blade
Yeah,
wasn't shown here.
Blade.
It's been 2 years now?
Oh,
Year and a half?
Yeah, there's so many games I feel like that they could have given us an update on or have gone deep on. I think that they wanted to go with a new announcement to close out the showcase, which I'm fine with. Get an announcement, but that announcement really needed to be Halo. It needed to be another big boy title. It needed to be a major shut the hell up moment, and it wasn't. It's Black Ops 7. So Connor, I'm going to go and kick it to you. What are you scoring the Xbox 2025 showcase?
I'm going to give it a 4.5, I think. I think that I give SGF a 5 out of 10 because it had a lot of good throughout it, and then it ended with one big thing and kind of pulled up the entire thing to that 5 out of 10. This did not have that one big thing at the end, but it had a lot of good throughout it, but a lot that I just think didn't move the needle in a positive direction for me when it comes to my perception of Xbox and the value of that console and Game Pass and such. So,
Brady, how are we feeling with Team Green after the showcase? What is your score?
Well, I'll start off with a score. I'm going to go with a 4 out of 10. Like Connor said, RE9 can save a showcase. Call of Duty cannot save a showcase. It's a lot of stuff I'm not excited for, especially after last year just being a straight banger, dude. Like I said earlier while we were watching it, I think they should have saved some stuff from last year and threw it in this year. This is a tough bid. Honestly, I kind of want to give it a 3, but there's still some cool stuff in there. I'll give it a 4, and I want to give it a 3 because the Call of Duty thing kind of pissed me off.
When the hell are we going to see Fable? Like, it's coming out next year.
Exactly.
It's supposed to come out this year. We haven't even seen gameplay of it, like full gameplay sections of this. Like, I need to see what this game is really going to be like in a moment-to-moment gameplay situation, and we haven't seen that. So, I think it's very strange for it not to be here.
I'm going to give this showcase a 6 out of 10. Okay. I think that there were a lot of really exciting games, and some of them weren't for me. I do have the list in front of me, which as I look down, and we'll hop into some of these titles. We're going to break this down in a very similar way to the way that we did with SGF and everything, of going over game by game and calling out things. But just looking down and being like, yeah, we did get a Plague Tale game coming back. Cool. That's a franchise that had a Game of the Year nominee. High on Life 2 is a very beloved game. The amount of people that, when we first got going, asked us, have you played High on Life? That's one of my favorite titles out there. I haven't gone to it, but sequel trailer looked cool. I think Super Meat Boy 3D is a really fucking awesome announcement. Mm-hmm. That's one of the coolest announcements that we've had this summer showcase season by quite a bit. Then going down later, we did have Persona 4. We did have Invincible Versus, an Invincible fighting game. Tag fighting looks awesome. That finally Xbox is getting the Final Fantasy series after it's been neglected for years. That's really cool for those players to play some of the best games from the past few years. And then closing out with a Double Fine game, which we discussed being what if it's this year? Guess what? It's fucking this year. That's awesome. And yes, I agree, not ending with one more thing. And once again, this showcase is lower to me than SGF. I gave SGF a 6.5. I think it's still just a okay showcase. And Black Ops 7 does take the wind out of the sails. But I think that if it was, let's just say Halo, I think it would be at an 8. Oh. Because I think that there's so much good in here. The
hard part is comparing it to other showcases of the past, that it's dude, this is not even close to a all right PlayStation E3 showcase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
or
that this
some Xbox showcases.
I don't think this is an all right. I think that this is one of the worst Xbox showcases they've had since the Series X came out. But that's also because their showcases have been nothing but fucking awesome in this generation. The best part of being an Xbox fan legitimately might not be the games, it might be the showcases. And that's why I'm a big Xbox fan. I love going in and seeing these trailers and getting excited with everyone. Right now though, we're seeing Super Meat Boy 3D, and I'm yeah, I'm fucking stoked to play this game. This is going to be a ton of fun. This is one of those that is going to be sort of must-play content, and that's not the case for a lot of games that we saw yesterday, or 2 days ago with SGF, or even State of Play, which I thought was a good showcase and a good showing from Sony. I think that right now we're in a very, very weird part of the year where we know basically everything that is happening. I also think that there are certain titles that are remaining not being shown, not having release dates because of GTA 6. We know what 2026 is for Xbox, I think, to a very large degree at that point. At this point, they already showed it last year. It's the hard part. They brought up Gears. They brought up Forza. They brought up
why can't you show an update
Fable.
For those games?
I think you can.
Year?
But I think that it's the classic thing that we were talking about during the SGF showcase of, I'm not excited about it's not as exciting as a new game, a release date.
I think
trailer.
you add Fable, a Fable gameplay, 2-3 minutes section in this. You add the first reveal of Gears of War gameplay. Then this showcase is saved.
Yeah,
really.
Well, I think that if you close with Gears of War gameplay, I think that it adds a point to it.
Right. So that game, I don't think is coming out. I don't think it's coming out next year, personally.
Gears at this point? Yeah.
No. We've seen a CG trailer.
I agree. I don't think that we're probably going to see that game next year. I'd be shocked if we do.
The only reason I think we're going to get Fable next year is because it was supposed to come out this year. And even then, I don't feel super confident that it's coming out next year.
You think they would have showed something.
Right, exactly. Yeah. If you're close to done with this game, which is implied by the fact that it was supposed to come out this year, then show something. We have not seen anything substantial on this game. And they've been dragging it out since 2020.
I understand, but I also think that, once again, we can't talk about just what's not here. What was here was good. And I think that a big part of this is that last showing it from Call of Duty, we talk about all the time. The last note of the song is the most important part of the song because it's the thing that you remember and you walk away with the concert from.
And this feels like a betrayal.
And Call of Duty feels like a betrayal?
Yes. We are nerds watching this showcase trying to get excited for nerdy ass fucking games, not Call of Duty. The Call of Duty audience is not watching the Xbox showcase for a Call of Duty announcement. We're watching it for Gears of War, Fable, and Halo.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that not having one of those big titles is detrimental, but also
Is that confirmed, Salazar? Outer Worlds 2 is $80. Oh wait, is that already kind of confirmed?
Yeah, that's kind of confirmed
because they said they're
raising prices for games down the line.
Well,
I do think though that like what was here, we didn't have any of the big boys show up, but what was here, like even just having Ninja Gaiden 4, getting a date, looking awesome, getting deep into the gameplay there, it's like, fuck yeah, I'm excited about that game.
I've already seen it. Like, and it's not like a major first party thing for Xbox. And when you're at the Xbox showcase, you expect to see major first party stuff.
Give me a random new IP over COD. As somebody that
100%.
has been burned by Redfall closing out a showcase, I think that it's okay to close with COD. I think it's not what a lot of people want. I think that this was a solid showing, though. All right, you guys want to get into it a little bit more?
Sure.
Started out with the Outer Worlds 2. This seems to be the cadence that they are rocking with all their showcases, kicking off with, hey, we're going to bookend it with a rock block of Outer Worlds, or what starts it, and then also what the direct is going to be after the fact. Great trailer, getting a date, cool way to start a show. Then we moved on to High on Life 2. I wanted more gameplay.
This game's the first one's divisive on whether or not people like it or not. Some people find it incredibly annoying. Some people find the comedy charming and fun. I have not played the original. I did download it though. I was like, oh, I'll give this a go, and I just never did. I don't think this is a game that I'm gonna end up checking out, but I will recognize that this is a somewhat substantial announcement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super high on it either. I did that on purpose. No, I'm just I like my comedy and my gaming separate. It's a little too like kitschy for me. I don't know if I can hop in on that.
Then we had Resident of Plague Tale Legacy. I thought that this was a cool trailer. It's a cool announcement. It stinks that it got leaked out beforehand, and I also do think that that's a big part of this showcase that it's getting messed up was. The Persona 4 worst kept secret for the past like 3 weeks, and then also this popping up right beforehand is pretty nuts.
It's cool that they're continuing on with a Plague Tale, so like you have that like IP name to be excited about. But from what we saw from that trailer, I did not feel compelled to be like, ooh, I cannot wait to pick that one up. It was like, this looks a little bit generic to me, but it's a very early look, so I'll reserve judgment.
Next up, we saw the ROG Ally, which I think is such a interesting conversation of where this was in the showcase. I thought that this would be a thing that they sort of did last year when they were talking about some hardware updates being right before getting to that one more thing. Hey, you just saw a bunch of great games. You can play it on our stuff. Go and purchase a piece of hardware. Showing this so early and showing Silksong, in my opinion, was like almost a bad omen. Like that was a black cat walking by the screen, being like, the games you're about to see are not going to be like awesome to the highest degree. So
it's like, hey, here's what you want to see, and then we're gonna not show you it.
Yeah, I cannot believe they did that the way that they did it.
That was crazy.
It would have been the same thing had they teased out RE9 like they did at SGF and not shown it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Big Mac in our chat just says the Ally should have been the one more thing, honestly. I think that if the Ally, they come out and they say, here's the Ally, and you can play Silksong on a day one, and here's the release date for the Ally, and here's the release date for Silksong, it's a very different conversation.
You can play a lot of these games already on the original ROG Ally. This is literally just a skin for that console,
getting Xbox games to run,
Xbox branding on it.
Getting Xbox games to run properly on it does take some heavy lifting. You can do it, but also we talk about
curious how robust those features are to make these games run properly on there.
Yeah. Then let's hop into Hollow Knight Silksong. Was this we're getting it this year?
Yeah.
Good confirmation.
Yeah.
More gameplay than we've seen at the Nintendo Switch 2 announcement, but like shit or get off the pod.
This is probably one of the worst marketing blunders I've seen for a team ever. Like they have so much goodwill built up at Team Cherry because of the first Hollow Knights. People love that game, love that franchise, and the way that they have marketed this game and kind of just teased the audience to the point where I think that at one point he was like, oh, the excitement is just so palpable and it's so high. And now it's just frustration.
Yeah.
And I do not think that that is a good place to be for your game that had built up so much goodwill that you could basically get away with kind of be like, just let them cook, just let them cook. And now it's just like, dude, just please, any information, please.
I don't know if it's like a good or a bad thing at this point. They're just doubling down and like just letting it ride. And I don't like it's working. We're talking about it, but at the same time, like you said, shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Next up, we had The Blood of Dawnwalker. This was the vampire game.
Vampire Witcher.
Yeah, look, honestly, one of the cool. This is why I'm like very okay with being like, yeah, this showcase was okay. Not necessarily for me. For a lot of the Witcher fans, I can see them being like, this is a spiritual successor. Very excited about it. All that good stuff. And I'm like, yeah. And it's also Bandai being published, and Bandai normally publishes some great games.
I think when it comes to these kind of games where it's developers have left the studio and are going to make a spiritual successor to something else, it can go either way. Where in some instances you get Mind's Eye, which we heard is terrible, and then in other instances you get Expedition 33, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like I do not know based off of what we saw if I trust that game is going to be great, but it could be. So
then we got some meat in our life. Super Meat Boy 3D. I think that this is like one of the best announcements this summer. But like this is up there. Obviously, it's not Marvel token, but like it's a great announcement, an unknown, exciting, great trailer, a ton of gameplay. I think that this was like one of the highlights of the show for sure.
It looks cool and the music looked great. I wish it was on Switch too. That looks like a perfect just like Switch.
Yeah,
I played the original on the PlayStation Vita, and it's great on that.
Yeah,
so.
that looks just like a great handheld. Yeah,
for sure. And then we got Ninja Gaiden 4 finally getting a date. Thank God my fantasy critic team needed a date after Mixtape did not get a date during SGF. I think the gameplay on this one was awesome. Definitely a highlight once again of the show. And so now here we are, and this is sort of where the show turns. I think that the pacing of this was in a really great spot if they stuck the landing with something where it's like, yeah, all these games have been great. Like all these things are hitting an audience and it's cool and exciting.
I think if you put Fable in the middle and you end it with Gears, this showcase like flips to an 8 immediately because it lifts up all the other stuff.
Right.
Like, and you had Clockwork Revolution in there on top of those two other things. It's like, damn, like that would have been great. But it's just, I don't think you can have your headline be more Clockwork Revolution footage.
Especially when like,
I was not sold on this.
It's really, it's such a fascinating one. I want to get hands on with this one just to be like, what are we actually doing? The thing that turned me away from this game the most was the dialogue options.
Yep.
There's so many games from Xbox first party that are doing the dialogue options and directing your own story. And
it's not what I want from this.
And everyone wants BioShock from this title, which is a lofty goal, but is sort of where we're at. We're about to get to that in a moment, but we might not need to touch on it again. Next up, we had Indiana Jones, The Order of the Giants. Cool update. This is what Xbox does.
October?
Yeah, I think later this year, right? Cool. Great. Next up was Beast of Reincarnation.
Game Freak.
Yeah.
That actually is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Can Game Freak make a great video game outside of Pokemon? It is TBD. We shall find out. But I thought that looked pretty cool. So I like the monster designs. I think the combat looks fun. But a lot of Souls-likes going on right now that I feel like, in my opinion, the market is flooded with Souls-likes.
Connor, we've talked about 9 games since the Clockwork Revolution trailer seemingly has started. And we're still watching the Clockwork Revolution trailer. That's what's up next. I want to give this the benefit of the doubt because I think that the gameplay actually looks solid.
Yes.
It's just that the trailer was doing so much. We're trying to do the humor thing. We're trying to do the showing you have choices. We're trying to show fun gun gameplay. We're showing we're going back in time and flipping the, and it's like, I needed one or two of those aspects taken out of the trailer to get a little bit more focused. This looks like a buffet of things compared to a really good, fine meal for me.
Yeah, the gameplay looks, it looks like you said, it looks like BioShock. It looks fun. But then other than that, it was I mean, that was a long trailer, and I don't understand exactly what direction the story's going in.
Yes.
And it's a lot.
I totally agree with that.
And then, when it comes to the choice making, when it comes to dialogue, with this style of game, it's like, I just want you to spoon feed it to me.
I agree. I want it to be like in this world, immersed in like the setting, and the setting looks cool, but then like there's just a lot of dialogue and choices, and that's not what I want. I want a pretty linear, straightforward experience where I'm shooting stuff and kind of picking up audio diaries, maybe similar to BioShock. Like, I really do think they should have leaned even harder into just kind of that BioShock vibe, and they could have gotten away with it. Well, there's a space to be filled there. We don't have a BioShock game, so
there's nothing. You're totally right. There's nothing that's trying to be BioShock right now. And when that trailer got revealed a couple years ago, it was like, oh, this could be that thing. And the showing today was, it kind of is, but it's also kind of not. Right. And so, I feel like that was just a all right sort of moment. Next up, we had Grounded 2. Connor owes me donuts. The hard part about Grounded 2 is like, that's a massive fucking announcement. And Obsidian making another game is cool. That they make great games. That's what they do. But like, not for any of us.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, where it's like, we did just get 2 of their first party, like really exciting type of announcements that were almost like falling on deaf ears, where it's like, we just can't, it's just not what we're looking for. So next up was Chronos: The New Dawn. This is another one, we'll see it when we believe it type deals.
I think you have that reversed.
We'll believe it when we see it type deals.
I love Silent Hill 2 Remake so much. I do not trust Bloober Team, though, yet. They need to show me 2 games
back to back.
And then maybe I'll start believing. But for now, I will be skeptical on Chronos until I get my hands on it.
Then we had the Elder Scrolls Online getting a update. Cool.
Connor's getting in on it, dude.
We know that we always are going to get one of those type of updates. I'm shocked that we didn't get like another Starfield update or something like that during the showcase. I think that might have been filled by the Indiana Jones DLC, though. Of, hey, let's go back to some old content. Let's refurbish it, and let's do something cool with it. Next up was Alpha Lion. This was the climbing game that we were joking about?
The walking simulator.
Yeah, the walking sim.
It looked cool. That was a little frustrating because it was mostly just walking. We saw no weapons, and then at the end of the trailer, they introduced like that other character, you would assume, and then something spooky started happening. And so it's like, I'm confused on what direction that game's going, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
King Dude just maybe gave me the update of the entire showcase, and it's not part of the showcase, but it's very important. Invincible Versus is being made by the Killer Instinct devs, which is like,
people really like the
KI 2013, I believe it is. It's just like still being played by because people miss Killer Instinct. That is really cool.
Looks very polished, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We'll get to it, but it's
fighting games. You kind of need to do what they did with the PlayStation Sleep Token. Not even like the last 10-minute aspect of it, but give us like a trailer with a ton of moves in it, and like really let the gameplay be the focus. And it felt like there was so much story on the front end, and then they got to the game. It was like, we could have just used more gameplay.
People love Invincible. It just feels a little niche, and it's going to be tough for like the fighting community to come to that. I think there's just a lot more better, so many better fighting games, and it's going to be hard to like outrank those.
I will say that there is kind of a space right now in the fighting game industry where like Tekken 8 is coming off of a really bad update. MK1 is closing down their content, and they're starting to, NetherRealm seems to be working on the next thing. And then Street Fighter 6 it's the best one out there right now, basically, for the major fighting game IPs. And then you have the collection stuff happening that like are fun. Hey, let's go back and let's hop in real quick. But like, there isn't a major fighting game title right now for 2025, and I kind of wish that they found a way to get that one into this year, where it would have been able to have a moment, because it's going to be competing next year with Arc System Works, and that's a tough mountain to climb.
Yeah, I think you just gotta hit a home run if you're them and make it a really good fighting game. Because you're the fighting game guy, but if I go play that and it's not that good, I'm going back to any other good option.
Even if the fighting is good, it's like, I don't really. How big of an audience is the Invincible audience?
That's what I'm saying. It's too niche for
I think that like it has its hardcore people, but like,
Right.
were they really fiending for a Invincible fighting game? And will that be able to carry new people to come in and play it? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not into Invincible, are you playing the Invincible fighting game? Probably not.
How many people? Because I like Invincible, but how many people love Invincible, love gaming, and love fighting games?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a small amount of people, and so that's a tough
And
bid.
the hard part is like, let's just say you're just the Invincible fan. Is this able to get you into a fighting game? And I don't know if it's the only way that it does is if you hear the game's fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? Go buy a console? I get you. Like I'm saying, is you already have to be into gaming. You're not gonna be like, I love Invincible so much, I'm gonna go buy a console and play this game.
True.
And it's a niche fighting game, and it's just like
the fighting games will always be just for the fighting game audience. It's the hard part, unless you have a moment like Marvel, where I'm like, there are hardcore Marvel fans. I'm not saying they'll go and buy a console. I'm saying they already own a console and they hear that the game is reviewing it expertly well, and then they're like, it's Marvel, I'm in.
I am curious to see like the direction of the campaign of that game.
Yeah, that's
because
gonna be
they do have the show's there for them.
Yeah,
they do have the
and the
opportunity
comics
to like
and-
feed you a good story, but it's like, I don't know.
Next up was There Are No Ghosts at the Grand. This was the Power Wash simulator with the cat.
That I was just also confused about what that game was, but
I have nothing to really say on this one.
I do think that the show took a little bit of a dip here. And then with Age of Mythology, this is where Connor went to use the restroom. We had a little bit of moment. I was texting our editor, who, once again, shout out Jay, you're doing great work today, as always. But like, it was like, all right, like we're sort of in the mud for a little bit, but then we got a really cool trailer. This is one that, because I was texting, I kind of want to go back and rewatch in full. But I caught the back end of it. Connor caught the back end of it. Brady was watching it, which was Madang Two Hearts, which was the futuristic Korean game, and looked really cool. Gunplay looked awesome. I want to see what's up with that title, because I think that was one of the cool unknowns of this showcase. That I'm like, this is a good trailer, and I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it looked really cool. I'm confused of like the direction of the storytelling. If it's like a linear, it seemed like if it's linear, it seemed like there was a lot of main characters. You saw there was the one guy and the girl, but then also towards the end they just start popping in a lot of characters, and it's like, I don't know who the main character is. I don't know the style of this game.
Yeah,
it almost felt like it could be like an online game, but I do not know at this point. But it did look really, really cool. I like the over the shoulder, just like fighting, gunplay.
This was one of the trailers though that I'm like, I think that I'm more excited about this than like Grounded 2.
Yeah, but absolutely. That looks like a game I could play. Like if it comes out and it's like, this game hits, it's like I'll eat that shit up 100%.
Yeah. And then we got Planet of Lana 2: Children of the Leaf. Cool trailer.
That's a lot of words.
Yeah. I think that this was solid. But that's the hard part, where it's like, cool trailer. None of us are playing a Lana people, but there are people. Same with Grounded 2 and stuff like just. There's so many of those types of trailers. Then we got Fallout 76, Gone Fishing. Brady's game of the year.
I'm not kidding. I do think I'm going to play that game. I mean, it looks fun. I mean, because I'm not like going to do big catch bass fishing games. Like I need something a little bit fun, and I think that scratches the itch. Yeah, it looks silly. There's more to the game from what they saw. Like you it's got like a Stardew Valley vibe. You can make plants and do other stuff besides slay some bass. Yeah.
Next up, we got another Brady joint, Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive.
That's tough being a Brady joint. I don't know. I enjoy solo leveling so much. I've watched it 5 times and couldn't tell you anything. But I know it's a badass show, and I'm gonna watch it 5 more times. But that's not my style of games. But hey, I like solo leveling.
More was for the joke, but 4-player co-op game did look good.
That's cool. Yeah. Like us 3, get Braden in there. I know Braden loves solo leveling.
Yeah,
so I could see
us
like touching that game. It could be really good. The combat style, it's just not.
Is this
my forte?
Is this a like new version of this game? Is it Solo Leveling Arise already out, and then Overdrive is like the final mix type?
That would be news to me, honestly. I didn't know there was a solo leveling game. I thought this might have been a new thing, but
that's one for the audience to go and hit us up in chat.
Maybe Big Mac or somebody can let us know.
And then we got Animo, which was the cute Pal World type game with all the animals, and then there was bosses that had health bars and stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks like a gotcha game. I think potentially they like you could like buy the animals. It looked like.
Oh, interesting.
What's a gotcha game?
Gotcha's like Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail, where like it's very much focused on like pulling packs and trying to get certain characters.
Gotcha.
So that kind of gave me that vibe.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Dude.
Next up was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. Hey, it's coming. It is it Game Pass day one?
I think so.
Yeah, so it makes sense to be here, and it just remind everyone cool games coming out in a month. Then we had At Fate's End, which was the game that kind of looked like Neva 2.
Yeah.
That actually looked pretty.
Looks cool.
Good.
The hard part is like a lot of these games I was like not fully sold on, but I also don't think that there was a lot of step up to the plate misses in this showcase, which happens pretty often for some of these shows. Then we got Gears of War Reloaded. Did not need that here. Connor, what are you thinking with Gears here?
It was just an update, just a reminder that, hey, this is coming out. I think they need to put it somewhere, and it's fine that they show it here, but it's not very exciting.
For sure.
That game's going to sell itself. It's already.
Solo Leveling Arise came out in 2024.
I think they just needed something to be like, hey,
yeah,
this isn't all.
It's a marketing thing.
Yeah, this isn't all filler, but I mean, that literally is filler.
I'm going to update my score. I'm going to give this one a 6.5.
You're going up?
Yeah, I'm going up.
Okay.
I'm looking at the back end of this. So then we get Persona 4 Revival. Cool announcement. This is one of those. It's not on Xbox for the amount of leaks that are happening, and it felt like a worst kept secret type moment. Fucking awesome. Like, I'm really excited to finally play Persona 4. That is how I'm going to end up playing that game.
Everything comes with a caveat here, though. Like the fucking Hollow Knight thing. It's like, okay, confirmation that it's 2025, but like no dates. Weird way to show it with the handheld. This. Great. Persona 4 remake, it's happening. Revival. The gameplay that they showed looks so weird. And I'm just going to give them the benefit of the doubt that it is very early in development. Mm-hmm. But if it's not, and they're going in that direction, and that's just like how the game looks, it's like, I don't know if that's going to be what people are looking for.
I'm going to push back a little bit on it, where I didn't like notice being like that's super off or anything, but it's definitely not Persona 3 Reload and what that game is trying to do with an art style.
It looked like a mod, or like somebody like recreated it in Dreams.
I didn't feel like it was that off when you were saying that. I was like, really? But also you played Persona 4, or you played some Persona 4, so it makes sense that you have a better palette for what you're watching when it comes to the remake for a title like that. But no, I think that is like objectively like a really hype, cool review, reveal. Then we got Sea of Thieves season 17 update. Cool, fine. It's got to be here.
Connor goes 17.
Yeah. And then we got Invincible Versus, which
we got it.
The fact that's we already got into that like big time, but yeah. KI developed, or the developers from KI, which is so Xbox and everything. Mm-hmm. I do think, it's not Marvel, but like it also is a big IP that is crushing right now, So I'm fine with that announcement. I'm stoked for that game. I'm going to play that game. Like that is something that I'm excited for. That I was a shock and cool. Then we get the Final Fantasies on Xbox finally. Cool. And then they close out with Keeper.
Is it the Lighthouse game?
The Lighthouse game, but it's all that team does is make really creative, cool experiences, and we got it this year.
It just doesn't smack you in the face. It's like, dude, I need to play that. Where I do think that like they've had games in the past, something like Broken Age, where it's like something new and has like a distinct art style, but people are all about it from the jump. I don't think Lighthouse platformer puzzle platformer sells itself. The only thing that sells that is Double Fine, and I will play that because it's Double Fine, and I'm sure that it's going to be great. So
yeah, well that's the thing. Double Fine just doesn't miss. That team just does really cool and creative, great games, and so like I'm okay with being like, yeah, let's go with the benefit of the doubt, but on this, but also I'm not doubting it too much. Like,
I'm not doubting it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it doesn't like smack you across the face as like I need to play this.
It's but I don't know. I don't think that like Psychonauts 2 coming back was like a cool moment for Psychonauts fans and everything.
I think that smacks
like,
you across the face if you're a Psychonauts fan.
But if you're a Psychonauts fan, but also like I think that that game isn't like an immediate sell for it. It's just cool art style and what's the gameplay like and all that stuff.
I think you say that it's a game that has a built-in audience already. I do not think that The Keeper has a built-in audience, similar to something like not on the same level nearly, but Marvel Tokon, where it's like it's for the fighting game community. It's not for everybody, but if you're not in that audience, you can at least recognize that this is this is a big deal.
That's true. And then we close it out with Call of Duty Black Ops 7, which...
Wait, it was Double Fine into Black Ops 7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They did a lot of filler, one more thing. He did a whole speech of making us think it was going to be Halo, and then...
Yeah, I that's a speech that I need to go back and hear every single thing they said that's coming out next year, because I think it's so interesting. We all know and have the understanding that there are titles in other places to show these titles. Mm-hmm. We're going to see Fable add a Dev Direct next year. That's going to happen. And I also think that you don't show Fable gameplay for 11 minutes when you're going to do that at a Dev Direct. And I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. Could the showcase have used it? Yes. Don't get me wrong. But also we know when we're getting that. Gears, I also am could we see that at the Dev Direct? And if not, then it's at Xbox Showcase next year with gameplay and it gets a 2027 early release. Right. I'm okay with it. Call of Duty, Black Ops 7, somebody mentioned in the chat before, it is Xbox's biggest IP. This is why you buy Activision. You go to promote the fact that you can play Call of Duty on Game Pass to everyone.
Here, though? That's the question. Put it anywhere else. So at your own fucking Call of Duty showcase, which they're going to do anyways.
Well, so last year we got the Dev Direct, or not Dev Direct,
but you went in knowing that was going to be the case, and you got Gears to finish it.
Yeah,
true. You know who's really hyped? Snowbike Mike.
Well, I'm also fucking I am legitimately really excited for BO7, and I'm happy that it's BO7. I saw some people in the chat were I'm BO'd out right now. I'm like, oh, cool. We just got the best Call of Duty game we've gotten in 6 years.
So how do you? That's the thing for me. It's they're not gonna.
They could. Why would we say that they're not gonna knock it out of the park again?
They can make the zombies.
This is literally just the same route that we got from Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3. Same situation. BO6, BO7 the next year. Modern Warfare 3 is notoriously fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's the easy way out.
Yeah,
it's literally the easy way out.
I would not bet that the rumor was that this was going to be a BO2 style remake, and it kind of gives you that vibe just because the characters are BO2 characters. Mm-hmm. Menendez, I think, is from BO2. I think he's in BO1 maybe potentially, but yeah, so I think that futuristic as well, similar to BO2. The maps very well could end up being a bunch of BO2. Remastered BO2 maps, which is what BO3 did with Modern Warfare 3 did with MW2. Modern Warfare 2 maps, Modern Warfare 2 original maps.
Yep.
It's very confusing. So
get out the string.
If they end up, if the zombies is straight up BO2 zombies too, they had yellow eyes.
That would be the right way.
Which is that not BO2?
That's I'm gonna get the crew wrong, so I'm not even going to give it a shot. Yeah, it could be
BO2.
Yeah, I think that's
the blue eyes are when.
I have no idea.
Okay,
blue eyes are BO1 or World War.
No, isn't it good? Doesn't it go red, yellow, and then blue or something like that?
Yeah, I do not know.
Okay, but yeah, I think that this could be in the nicest way possible, a cash grab, which is the right thing to do if you're trying to just kind of get another game out and not have it be this big major development overhaul the next mainline Call of Duty. But that's how they marketed it, and that I think could end up biting them in the butt, similar to how Modern Warfare 3 did not end up doing them any favors.
Right.
Yeah.
Give me
sold fucking fantastically.
It's Call of Duty.
So
it's gonna sell no matter what. But give me Call of Duty Ghost 2 for Christ's sake.
But I do not expect a BO6 type situation where we come into that after not playing COD for a long time and are dude, this was so good.
I mean, I put 80 out. It was my second most played game last year. Yeah. I fucking loved BO6, so I'm excited to get a BO7.
Yeah, that was BO1. Okay.
And so I want to see what this experience can be, and the fact that there is a clear way for them to improve on BO6's formula with the zombies being what it is. I can't wait for COD next. I can't wait for what
You're into the zombies potentially. Like if it's building off of BO6 zombies, like
No. I know. I just
I'm
said that
all for
I'm happy that there are things to improve on because the BO6 zombies are not great, and we can go.
we think that they're not changing fucking shit because people love it.
I know.
It's just not the core
experience that
Black
I want.
Ops 3 zombies community that like fell in love with zombies.
Yeah, I'm just so curious to see also what like the reception to this showcase across the board is going to be, because like I assume that there's a lot of people in the Xbox community, especially being like, we got Grounded 2. Like, and Grounded is such a like the diehard Xbox fans love that title. You know,
Yeah.
there are things in here like High Life 2 that and a Plague Tale that people are stoked on for those franchises. But the hard part is, I think we talk about all the time, that last note moment being BO7 is tough.
There's nothing we got today that I can say like I cannot believe we got that. That looks amazing.
Yeah, and we had that moment 20 times last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Nonstop that moment last year.
Yeah. Last year was so good.
Which is tough to go in. Following up last year was an impossible task, in my opinion, because you're not going to get another 10 out of 10 showcase every year. That's just impossible with the amount of teams that exist in the world and everything. Mm-hmm. This really also could have been helped by just, I think, reordering some shit.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that if BO7 opens the show, people will be like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, now let's move on to the next thing. And then like close out with either the ROG Ally or even though it wasn't.
If you close out with the ROG Ally and you give a short actual trailer for Hollow Knight Silksong and then put a date on it, I think it helps the perception so much.
For me, I'm gonna go with literally just what they have for sure here, and I'm like, would you have been okay with them going deep on Clockwork Revolution and just moving that to the very end?
No.
But like that's also new IP that they want to push forward.
Yeah, but
and
it doesn't look very good.
That's the hard. I understand, but the hard part is just like what they have here. Yes, there needed to be something that was great, and I think that they could have. The Persona 4 could have also closed this out and have been a better closing, I think, for what this audience is. You know.
Yeah.
All right, we got some Patreon names we got to read out.
Oh yeah. Were we supposed to? Do you do that for the news conversation?
Yeah.
We did not.
But we forgot.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you to our dearly beloved Patreon members. Do you need me? Okay. All right. There we go. Members who support us over at that highest tier over on Patreon. Members like V Slashing,
Ooh, Gracie,
Gray Direwolf,
Fathead,
Deadman,
JC,
Only One Rufus,
Chuzar,
MG Dunbar. Wait, sorry.
You're just getting in there.
We're popping around. I don't like this.
MG Dunbar,
Mr. Munchies,
Farmer Spud,
Rocket Tater,
Nofi.
JC Falcon.
Frozen Crushies. Stop it, Connor.
We gotta change the order.
Let's just start reading. Just
Swampy bits all together in unison.
Jaxie.
Where are we?
Sconzi.
Sconzi.
Cheery Sentry.
DQ Lonzer.
Strachan, 1978. I'm all thrown off.
Tyler D. You started saying mine.
Scooter Man.
Das Goopy.
Dinkelberg rules.
It's been a long weekend. Centuro.
Hook 'em horns.
Go Nash.
Neutral Sphere.
Charlie W.
Easton C.
Stooby Dooby Dooba.
Nuke This Kingdom.
Crispy.
DJ Zach B.
Yoli.
Jacob D.
Big Bug.
Metal Nate.
The Patty Cake.
Bear Pog.
Yogi.
Dom.
Holden M.
Colin C.
Brock.
Voodoo.
Dr. Pookie Bear.
Alex Golden.
Andrew H.
Master Diz.
Drifter X1 Skirt.
Presto.
Maverick.
Goops.
JMappy3.
Adam. Oh, shoot.
We were cooking so hard. We were cooking so hard. Ali Benali.
I just didn't want to say Kingdom Hearts sucks.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Casual Gaming Conversation. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.